video is gonna be about Godzilla being in Fortnite. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen anything about this, but the new Fortnite update, the new season, the chapter, whatever it is, it's gonna have Godzilla in it, I think starting in January. But this video by my boy Goji Guy kind of dives into the lore of if Godzilla can just stop the Fortnite events. Now, does that mean is stop the future events, or does that mean can he like destroy all the past events? I don't really know. Let's jump straight into it. Shout out to my boy Goji.
One of, if not the most influential and largest games in history. Beating out titans in the gaming community such as Terraria, Tetris,
such a giant
Call of
game,
Duty,
dude.
Assassin's Creed, and even Minecraft
like
in terms
Fortnite
of sheer registered player accounts. There's no doubt that this is one of, if not the most popular game on the planet.
Back in the OG
while
days,
gaming, can it take down an actual titan? Today we're pitting Fortnite against an IP that's been going strong for the past 70 years.
So Godzilla is going to be
longest
fighting
ongoing
up
fictional
against
character of all time. Godzilla,
I'm
or
assuming
specifically Monster
the past
vs.
events
Evolved
here.
Godzilla.
That makes
As
sense.
many of you know at this point, Evolved Godzilla is coming to Fortnite Battle Royale.
That's
joining
right.
the likes of DC, Marvel, Star Wars, and many
That's why Fortnite, I don't think will ever die.
Now, well, I myself
they can just put literally anybody in the game
earlier. What if, like,
as
in
long
the
as they get the
Monsterverse,
right, you
his
know.
role is to protect and handle the threats on the island? Today we're asking the question: could Godzilla
Guys,
stop
if you
the
haven't
Fortnite
yet,
events? Hello everyone,
scroll
it's your
down
host
for me,
Goji
hit
Guy,
that
and today we're
subscribe
pitting the
button.
king of the monsters against the reality-shattering Fortnite events. Can this radioactive,
They got some
overgrown
cool
lizard
events.
take on or stop the mystical and cataclysmic occurrences within Fortnite? Well,
I think
sit
he
back
can
and
stop
relax.
most
And
of
to anyone
them,
new
but,
watching,
like, for
if you
example,
enjoy videos like this,
he
make
just
sure to
showed
subscribe and check out
Galactus.
the channel. I post weekly videos
No.
ranging from
I'm
dinosaurs,
sorry.
kaiju, anime, sci-fi, and analog horror, and so much more.
Shout
so
out
first
to
we need to address
Goji,
the
man.
rules
Let's
and
get it.
conditions of this fight. Now, firstly, what do I mean
Goji,
by
don't you
stop?
say that
Well, we'll be
Godzilla can
analyzing
beat
each
this
event
man here.
and seeing if Godzilla has shown
Don't
any
do it,
feats
please.
that can suggest that he has what it takes to stop these events. So, what
He can
events will he be
devour
facing
him.
off against?
The Devourer.
Well, let's cover them. His bracket is Blast Off, Crack Closure, Butterfly Event,
Okay.
Ice Storm, The Unvaulting, The Final Showdown, The End, Travis Scott's Astronomical, The Device,
He's
The
gonna fight
Devourer of
Travis
Worlds,
Scott?
Zero Crisis Finale, Operation Skyfire, The End Chapter 2,
Wait, was that
Collision,
monster
and
called the
finally,
Devourer? I don't
Absolute
really know.
Doom.
I forgot
Now,
who-
while in the lore of Fortnite, which I will
don't even
not
know,
be
bro.
explaining, Godzilla would realistically let some of these happen. As well destructive, they are for the betterment of reality. But that's not what we're asking. So we'll be assuming that for
The
whatever
Devourer
reason,
is
Godzilla
the
wants to put a
one-eyed
stop
monster,
to each
right?
event.
It's been a
And yes,
minute.
I'm aware I didn't list off every single event, but we're trying to go for the big, impactful ones. So, like, no, we're
That's
not going
fair,
to break
that's
down the
fair.
Marshmallow concert
Yeah, we
or
don't
see if
need
he can
to do
stop
all
the
that.
first
That was a
meteor
fire
storm.
concert,
So with
though.
all that out of the way, let's quickly cover what Godzilla has
I
done
remember
so we have a
being
good
there.
idea of what he can pull off. Now, to my returning viewers, this will be a little different than normal, as this isn't like a normal versus, where we find out who can lift more and who's faster. Rather, we need to look at Godzilla's best feats and keep them all in mind to find out if he has what it takes to stop the events.
I like
now,
it,
we'll
I
be
like
covering
it.
general Godzilla here, so just his feats he shows in verse. But for a certain event, and by certain I mean exclusively the Galactus one, we'll be wanking Godzilla like never before on this channel.
There we go.
Turning a blind eye to outliers and assuming everything is
'Cause
canon.
Galactus,
So
I
let's
mean,
cover
come
what he's
on,
done
bro.
so we can get into this. For strength,
Godzilla's
Evolved
not beating
Godzilla is in the
Galactus. Let's be
200,000
real
metric
here.
ton range of strength.
I love
as he
Godzilla.
can pretty easily
I
push
love
Shimo.
Marvel.
But onto his unweighted strength feats.
It's just
Godzilla,
not
as early
happening.
as 2014, just from swimming, is able to cause tsunamis due to his sheer size. He's able
That's
to
facts.
casually walk through the Golden Gate Bridge, and again break a bridge just
He's
by
tough.
standing up in GBK.
Tough man.
He's easily able to break through ice, as seen in King of the Monsters, Dominion while weakened, and GXK. He creates
The polar
shockwaves
bear,
just from
bro.
clashing into his foes. And his best feat is the fact that he lifted an island off of his back in Awakening, which, doing the rough calculations
Strong,
for it,
buddy.
this island
Strong,
will weigh
brother.
upwards of 4 million tons. For durability, Godzilla is unbothered by pretty
4
much all sorts of
million
military
tons.
fire. He can take buildings falling on him. He eats nuclear bomb explosions for breakfast. In fact, he's shown to grow stronger due to them. He takes punches from the Muto Prime, who's strong enough to break open the Earth's crust. He no-sells punches to the face from Kong, Kong being able to punch with the force of a 4.2 magnitude earthquake. He shrugs off being
Dang.
stabbed in the leg. He's able to take Mechagodzilla and Ghidorah's beams like a champ. And his best feat is the
boy
fact that he
Goji got
tapped the
the
Permian
info,
asteroid
see?
to the face
Well, I appreciate
and just
this man.
swam off. For context, the largest bomb ever made by humans, the Tsar Bomba, is nothing compared to the Permian asteroid. It would take roughly 2 million Tsar Bombas to release the same amount of energy as the asteroid impact. Now onto his abilities.
Dang.
Evolved Godzilla is able to use his atomic weapons, of course.
It's got
such
the
as his
atomic breath, the
and
atomic pulse,
And
yup.
given he can supercharge, he can amplify those attacks to an outrageous degree.
We know he's tough.
He has his height
He's strong,
senses,
man.
being able to detect things small as Mechagodzilla's eye. He has telepathy, being able to talk to
If I
other
had to
beings
guess,
without words. He has sharpened dorsal
I'ma say
plates,
Godzilla
a blunt
can
but
be
prehensile
like
tail, amphibiousness, energy absorption, and DNA absorption.
95%
And we'll
of the
quickly
Fortnite
cover his
events.
beam.
95.
Now, while I hate using statements with no backing, we will need to wank Goji a little bit for this
I'm
video.
only saying
so
there's
it's not
like
just
2
him
or
losing
3 that can
nonstop.
beat Godzilla.
His beam, as stated by Greg
We'll
Keyes,
see.
the writer of all these books on screen, is stated to be the most powerful thing in nature. So it would be more destructive than things such as earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanoes. But that's just nature on Earth. You could wank this to celestial bodies, comparing it to blazars, hypernovas, and even black holes. Before his beam is actually shown, When weakened, it was able to push back the female Muto, who weighs in at 60,000 metric tons. It's able to one-tap
That is
Shinomura,
actually
who
insane.
also survived the Permian asteroid with
Some of these
Godzilla.
weights.
It's able to push the Muto Prime, who weighs 135,000 tons. He's able to easily part the clouds.
bro.
He's able to shove Ghidorah to the ground. Mr. Monster Zero coming in at 141,056 tons. Even at one point sending Ghidorah into the air for a moment. It easily cuts through and eviscerates man-made structures. It's able to push back the 90,000-ton Kong, even when it was being absorbed by his axe. And of course, when he was able to blast a hole halfway through the planet.
Wait, do I have this in HD?
It slices
I do,
through
okay.
pyramids like butter in GXK.
I was about to say.
And finally, he's able to diffuse and destroy Shimo's Ice Storm. So, with all that context, let's finally
We
dive
knew
in.
the context of
First up is
Godzilla,
Season
but just in
4's
case you
Blast
didn't,
Off,
there
the
you
first
go.
major Fortnite event, and widely respected by the Fortnite fans as a whole. Now in this event, we see the Visitor use a film prop rocket to take off into the sky. How does he do that with a prop? Don't question it. Now while the rocket is
question.
powerful in the sense that it can create rifts, that's more due to the fact that the Visitor added a lot of futuristic tech to it. So the rocket itself is still just, well, metal. And given what Godzilla's capable of, this event would be pretty
Easy
for him.
cash.
In fact, he can stop it in a few ways. Firstly, and most easily, he can just walk up and do a pulse. As
Yep.
you know that thanks to the GXK novel,
He can hit it with
when
the
Godzilla
atomic
pulsed
breath.
in France,
Doesn't really
he
matter.
released an EMP. So he could
He
just
could
short
grab
circuit
it and
the
eat it,
rocket.
bro. It's
Now to the
Godzilla.
one that's a little bit more tedious, but still pretty easy. Just beam it. A single
Just
beam
beam
from
it.
Godzilla, whether it's normal, evolved, or supercharged, will do the job. So with really no difficulty, Godzilla can stop the blast-off event.
He's
Now
already
on to
got one.
Season 5, the crack closure. Now, realistically, this event and many others wouldn't happen, as the rocket never successfully took off. But just sweep that fact under the rug.
Yeah, just-
so for this
yeah,
event, we'll be
disregard that.
discussing two versions of it. Firstly, can Godzilla stop the
Wait, is
lightning
this
strike
Kevin
from
the
happening
Cube?
in the
Is that
first
the
place?
season?
And secondly, if he can't,
It
can he
is!
stop or even
Kevin!
break Kevin? So let's start with the former.
Bro,
now,
who's
it's hard to say if
waxing
Godzilla
Kevin?
can
Listen-
sense what's happening.
R.I.P.
But given
Kevin.
the map's relatively small size, along with how much
I
energy would be
remember
building up in the
watching that
sky,
dude.
he would most likely know something is going on. Now,
Old
let's just assume
school
he's
ninja?
there where it happens. As well, if he's not, then no, he can't really stop something that he's not there to stop. This lightning strike is extremely violent, and at first seems like it's much too powerful for Godzilla to handle. But if we take a closer look and look at the ground where the lightning hits, it really didn't cause any damage. So realistically, if Godzilla
So it's
was
not
there,
even that
charging up
strong.
his beam and fires his atomic breath to clash the lightning, he would pretty easily overpower it. So for part 1, yes, he can stop the lightning strike. Now to the question of stopping Kevin. Now this one is interesting, but overall, yes, he
Bro,
can.
he's
In
waxing
fact, I
Kevin.
again have two reasons why. Let me explain. Now, firstly, we see in Operation Skyfire that the cubes are
Shout out
killable
to
in a
Kevin,
sense,
but, like-
as we straight up kill one in the event. Now, how we kill it is hard to say, but given what is shown,
kinda looks
it
like
seems
a
to be
pulse.
some sort of powerful EMP. So Godzilla can just walk up again and do
Yeah.
an EMP, and that should do the job. But the more interesting part is that Godzilla might just be able to consume Kevin in a sense. Now, I asked my community whether they think Kevin is radioactive in nature, given how he behaves and affects things around him. And overall, the consensus was an outstanding yes.
So
which
you could
only
just
makes
eat
sense.
Kevin?
Something that's powerful
Hey,
and
yo.
energizes Kevin would for sure be radioactive. And given
Hey,
the Vault, Godzilla has
yo.
plenty of storage for radiation, 20 times more than normal in
Oh
fact,
my-
he
could
might
you
just straight up
imagine?
be able to drain Kevin's power, causing him to power off. So again, with pretty much no difficulty,
Then Godzilla would be
moves on.
lethal.
Now onto Season 6, with the Butterfly event. Now, this event is hard to say. I firstly want
I
to
don't
say that we're
remember
not
anything,
asking
like,
if Godzilla can stop
crazy
or break
happen
the
in this.
alternate reality we are seemingly sent into, as well Godzilla doesn't really have any reality manipulating powers. Yet. Only time will
Yet.
tell what the MonsterVerse will do with Godzilla next. Now, at least to the event
That's
that was
true.
different,
That's very
as we
true.
see Kevin is
Bring us
reborn
space
from
Godzilla,
Lake.
please,
And
bro.
while he's more dangerous, given his power is violently
Destroy
emitting out of him
in-game.
now, that really just
In-game
makes it
destroy
easier
it.
for Godzilla, as he doesn't have to try as hard to get the energy out of him. And for the storm above him, he can just dissipate it like he did with Shimo's storm in GXK. So while it'll be hard for Godzilla to reach Kevin given he is now airborne, again with really no difficulty, he can stop this one. Hey, editing Goji guy here. I just
Okay.
realized that Kevin is most definitely radioactive, given he literally powers a power plant in Chapter 2.
That's so true
yeah,
as well.
I'm pretty sure he's radioactive.
And
Next up is
95%
Season
of
7's
people
Ice
also
Storm,
said
my
yes,
first ever
so.
season I played, and one of the most
Those
beloved seasons
5%
ever.
were like, I
Mostly
don't even
due to
play
the Christmas
Fortnite.
aspect, but anyways, in this event we see the Ice King
Who's
summoning a
Kevin?
massive ice storm to cover the mountain with
Ghidorah?
snow. And I'm gonna be real, this is probably the easiest so far. Godzilla can stop this event in many ways. One, he can just blast the Ice King in the air before it starts, killing him instantly. Two, he
Bro,
can just
Ice
beam at the
King,
storm
come
to
on.
stop it, as he does with
Ice
Shimo's
King's
storm in
cooked.
GXK. Or three, just do a pulse that's too weak to seriously damage the map, but
Easy.
strong enough to just melt all the snow, turning the snowstorm into a rainstorm. So again, with no difficulty, he stops another event. And let me know in the comments what your favorite season was of Fortnite. Mine's a bit controversial, but mine was Chapter 2, Season 3. I think that season was absolutely peak.
I'm not
Anyways,
gonna lie to you.
next up
Chapter
is
1,
Season 8.
Season 1.
In this season, we
That
have
was
the
me.
unvaulting, where a massive
just-
vault is opened to the
I had
ground,
so
allowing
much fun,
players to
dude.
choose to unvault an item.
There
Now,
was
this event,
times where
believe it or
I
not,
would
is also
play that game
relatively
all
easy
day
to
trying to
defeat.
get one win.
Now, it seems like it should be
And it was
hard,
so
given
fun
the
the
zero points
entire
involved.
time.
It's actually what happens before
It,
the
like,
event that
never
makes
got
it easy.
boring.
Before the vault opens, there are vault keys around the map that, to my knowledge, move to the vault, unlocking 5 parts of the vault to open it. So all Godzilla has to do is break, stop, or just move one out of the way. making it so the vault can never open. So yeah, again with no difficulty,
Easy
Godzilla
season.
stops his event.
Okay, listen.
Next up is Season 9's
Godzilla's
final
going too
showdown.
tough.
Now this is where
Oh,
Godzilla
yeah,
started
the
to struggle.
Devourer,
For this,
here we
we are
go.
replacing the mech with Godzilla. Now, why is it difficult, you may ask?
He's cooked.
And while the Devourer doesn't
He is
seem too
cooked.
strong normally, you need to take into account that he was able to take a punch from the mech that was amplified by the 0 point.
Yes.
The 0 point being a construct that created all of the Omniverse.
That's a
creating
great
everything
point.
there is.
I'll
So
give
given
you
he
that.
tanked an attack that was amped by the 0 point, even Godzilla's most powerful attacks
I
won't do
wouldn't
much,
say he
if
tanked it
anything, to
either.
the Devourer. Now, with that
'Cause
being
my man
said,
was
the
kinda
Devourer
knocked back
suffers from the
pretty
death angel
tough.
effect. While he can take hard hits, he can't really dish anything out that's too strong. So this fight would be really
Exactly.
hard to determine the winner to. But we should add two things. First, we don't know how much power the 0 point gave to the mech. So while sure, even if it was a small amount, it would still be a lot of energy.
Now
But
imagine
we
at
just
this
don't
point,
know how much
Godzilla
it
would have
was.
already eaten
So that can
Kevin,
help
right?
to
So
level
he's gonna
the
have
field.
all that
along with the fact that
radioactive
Godzilla has
power.
dealt with kaiju that are much more
Unless we
durable than
aren't
himself,
counting that.
such as Shima
But
or the
still.
Muto Prime. To add on further, the Devourer's intelligence or lack thereof, it makes it easier for Godzilla to possibly pull off
Yeah.
a win. As
I
we
mean,
just
look
need
at
to make
this
sure
man.
he stops the event. That doesn't imply killing them. If Godzilla can use his abilities and battle techniques to his advantage, the Devourer could be
Godzilla
scared
wins.
off. So it really depends on how this fight between the two of them would play out. But overall, I'd say with high difficulty, Godzilla can stop the final showdown. And
I'm
while that was
saying
pretty
with, like,
tough, one
medium
thing that shouldn't be
difficulty.
hard is finding quality
Not
kaiju
even-
and anime
you know
figures
what I'm
for an
saying?
affordable price. Now into the finale of Chapter 1.
you know what I'm excited
We have
for?
Season 10's, the end
The
event.
Travis Scott
In this
battle.
event, the 0 point is
How's he gonna
destabilized.
fight Travis
and instead
Scott?
they use their rift technology
Wait,
to
Travis
send
Scott,
Season
he
3
did
meteor
get big,
crashing into
right?
the 0 point.
In
Now,
the,
realistically,
little
this is one of the
concert
events
thing?
Godzilla would let happen. But we still need
Wait,
to cover the question.
is he gonna
could
fight
stop
Ariana
it?
Grande
And, well,
too?
Yes. Easily. Just
That was
blow
a
up the
concert.
rockets and the meteor.
Oh,
Now, the
I'm
0
gonna be
point
weak.
is still cooked, but the event itself as we know it is stopped. So with like low difficulty, Godzilla moves on. Next up is Travis
He's
Scott's
moving.
Astronomical.
Here we go.
Now
Wait a
this one is
minute.
tricky, as I don't think people realize how powerful Travis Scott is in Fortnite. Let's quickly cover Travis Scott's abilities,
Wait,
which
what?
include body modification.
Yeah.
This is shown when he turns himself from literal light into his body, and the fact that he
True.
changes size and shape throughout the event. Teleportation, as shown throughout the performance. Object teleportation,
True.
as shown when we the players are teleported around.
But, like, how
throughout the
strong
performance.
is he?
Some
Like,
form
he
of
can
matter
move and stuff.
materialization, or just straight up telekinesis. As shown
But
when
I've
he
never
creates
seen him,
slides
like,
for us to
hit
slide
somebody.
around, or when he creates seemingly tiny stars and slams them together. Reality manipulation, such as changing the time of day, or within an instant flooding the map. He's able to affect those around him, such as giving the players low gravity and speed boosts.
That's
he has
true,
lightning,
actually.
fire,
I
and light
can't disagree
abilities.
with any
He has
of this.
gravity manipulation, as shown in slides us the players around the map. And he of course has his planet.
Bro,
which throughout
Travis
the
Scott
performance
versus
gets
Godzilla.
larger
I
and
never
more
thought I'd hear
powerful.
it.
And at the end of the event, he literally warps reality again into recreating the butterfly event. So yeah, there is literally nothing Godzilla can do to affect him. Even if you want to use higher end things for Goji that we'll bring
kinda
up
true,
later,
dude.
still, even if Godzilla is stronger and more durable, Travis can still just de-atomize him and erase him from reality as a whole. So with no difficulty,
Yeah.
Travis wins this. And Godzilla
Surprisingly,
takes his first L. Next
I
up
thought I
is
was gonna
Chapter 2,
disagree with
Season
that,
2's
but I
Device
don't
event,
actually disagree.
where Midas creates a machine to push back the storm.
We don't know how
EMP.
strong he is, but, like, you know.
Yeah, it's a giant machine. With no difficulty, Godzilla can just pulse
Yeah,
and destroy
EMP
it.
shuts it off,
he
easy
moves
money.
on. Now into Chapter 2, Season 4's The Devourer of Worlds.
Come on
this
now.
will be wanking Godzilla.
Okay.
Because I think this fight could be quite interesting. Now, normal Godzilla, yeah, he's cooked. But for this fight,
Okay.
we'll be amplifying him with the 0 point itself. Yes, really.
Okay, this
As
makes
seen
a
in
little
the
more
event,
sense than
the
I was
0
gonna
point
say,
where he
bro,
breathes Roman was able to
Galactus,
hold
you're
off
not beating him
Galactus.
as normal
But due to the fact that it
Godzilla.
really doesn't have any attacks
So let's
or
see.
a body, it very quickly lost the battle. But what if Godzilla took in its power? Well, firstly, can he? Using the absolute
If he
highest
took in
rank
the
for Godzilla,
power-
he is easily in the star ranges of power. But we need a lot more to take in even a fraction of the 0 point's power. And to get Godzilla to that level of power, we need to use the DC crossover, where Godzilla and Kong take on the Justice League. Now, why is it important? Well, DC themselves said that Godzilla and Kong are the biggest threats the Justice League have ever fought. As in the Justice League in general, not just any specific version. And this was announced before they went on to say that this may or may not be the main timeline. So with that in place, Godzilla would be more powerful
Man,
than
they
like
were
the
just
dark
glazing.
side. A
Don't
being
listen.
just from falling on it crushed the
They
entire
were just hyping it
multiverse.
up.
Or Mr. Minxie, I think that's how you say it. A fifth dimensional imp who views all of existence as
That's
a flattened geometry. He can also just casually blow up fifth dimensional spaces. Or Lord Forbid Perpetua. I don't know these names, man. I do Godzilla content. A sixth dimensional creature
I know what
who
you're
made
talking
all of
about.
existence, even on higher levels in the fifth dimension. So if Godzilla outdoes
Fighter
all of
characters
them,
that don't
then he
get
should
enough
be able to
recognition,
tussle
by
with
the way.
Galactus. So overall, it really comes down to whether you choose to believe this is canon or not. If so, then Godzilla wipes the fourth Galactus, especially with the 0 point as a boost. But if
That's
you want to
crazy.
talk normal Goji, then yeah, Galactus would
But
just
normal
eat him.
Goji's cooked.
So if it's
Normal
normal Goji
is-
is used throughout
yeah.
the video, then he would be cooked. But if you want to wank him to the sun and back, Goji could take the W. But
Yeah,
personally,
we're giving
given
him
that it's
the
not
L on that
clear
one.
whether it's
Let's be
canon or
real.
not, I'm going to say Goji once again falls to another event.
Okay,
Next
there
up
we
is
go.
the Zero
I agree,
Crisis
I
finale.
agree.
Yeah, no. You're essentially asking if Godzilla can destroy the omniversal
I've
construct
only
that is the
technically
0 point.
disagreed with one
No.
of them.
No, he can't.
Which was the Devourer.
Next
I
up
thought
is
it would've
Chapter
been
2,
easy.
Season 7's Operation Skyfire. And finally, an event that Godzilla can once again beat. But really, this spaceship got blown up by some bombs, so one supercharged beam would do the job. With low difficulty, Godzilla moves on.
I'm wondering
Next is the
what-
end of Chapter 2. Now this one is
So
hard
is
to
Doom
say.
gonna be in
As to
this
stop
too?
the
The-
event,
the
he needs
most
to stop the
recent
Cube
season
Queen
that we just
directly
had?
and her army. But overall, I think he has a chance to win here. Let me
'Cause
explain.
Doom
Firstly,
versus
as we addressed, he
Godzilla.
can pretty easily destroy normal cubes, so those won't be a big issue. But the question
would
is the
actually
Cube
be a
Queen,
fire
and, well,
battle.
he beats her without even trying.
I'd
Now,
love to
let
see
me
something
explain.
like that.
As we mentioned all the way back at the start of the video,
Doom's
Godzilla
army
just from
versus
swimming
Godzilla's?
causes tsunamis, so he would sense the force on the island and swim to shores. Or, Lord forbid, swim in the rivers themselves. And just from making landfall, he would sweep all the cubes into the water. And as to Kevin and the Cube
The
Queen,
music's kinda
water
fire,
seems
by
to be
the
their
way.
weakness. So, yeah. Godzilla wouldn't even need to beam or really attack at all. Just making landfall on shore should do the job. With no difficulty, Godzilla moves on. Now onto our semi-final
Okay,
battle,
I like that.
the collision. So pretty much again, we're
The
replacing the mech with
collision.
Godzilla, and well, yeah, just a beam should work, or
Just a
again,
beam
an EMP will
shuts
just
all the
turn everything
machines
off.
down, bro.
So with low difficulty, Godzilla again moves on.
So the
and now
last one?
finally, absolute doom. And while I know it seems like it should be an absolute beatdown, but Fortnite Doom isn't nearly as powerful as people think.
Okay,
he's not
it's
even as powerful
Fortnite
as
Doom.
Fortnite Galactus.
I mean, it
now,
makes
I know that
sense.
seems like a wild
I'm
take.
thinking of just
I mean,
like
Galactus
Marvel
is
Doom
literally
in
dead
general.
on the map, along with a whole bunch of other superheroes. Which, yes, they are.
I didn't
But you
really
need to
take
keep
that
in mind,
into
those
consideration,
are
being
snapshots of the
Galactus.
characters,
Just Fortnite
not the characters
Galactus.
themselves.
Not
Plus the fact
actual
we don't know how
Galactus.
Doom held up against them. And I mean, we see him literally get damage from Pandora's box, something that is leagues weaker than the 0 point.
I don't
the
think he
same
got
0 point that
damage from
Galactus
that.
was able to overpower. But
I'm gonna
most
disagree a little bit
importantly,
there. I don't think he got
he
damage from that.
died from bullets. Yeah. While yes, it took a lot, he still died to normal bullets. So if Godzilla does a single supercharged
Did he?
beam, that would probably do the job. So with low difficulty,
know about
Godzilla
that one
surprisingly
either.
beats Doom.
I
Out
could be
of the
thinking
15
wrong,
events
though.
we covered, Godzilla wins 12.
He did his
loses
research
2,
here. I could
and for
be
the
wrong.
Galactus one, it's kind of up to you. But
Okay.
What do you all think?
What do I think? I mean, as far as Doom, I think there was a couple mispoints there. Once again, I could have been wrong. I didn't do my research. I just listened to the video. But as far as like Marvel Doom, Marvel Galactus, some of the other things, I kind of, I'm leaning towards the Godzilla's losing those. But as for the rest of it, Godzilla's wiping out the Fortnite events. Let me know what you think in the comments. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.